Nerdy Neo on the mic tells a story. Open mic, a world of digital glory. Talking quests and pixelated dreams. Gamers journey on the mainstream. Open mic with a gaming twist. Press start and raise your fist. From consoles all to new. Every game a brand new crew. Week by week a new guest appears. Sharing love for gaming through the years. Button mashing tales of late night kills. Level up, adrenaline thrill. Open mic with a gaming twist. Press start and raise your fist. From consoles old to new. Every game a brand new crew. From pixel art to high-def screens. Open worlds and cutscenes. These questions deep they go. Discovering every game in tow.
What is up, everyone? Hello, good evening, happy July 4th. It is a good day. It is my favorite day of the year for two reasons. Not only because it's our great America's birthday, but no joke, no lie, 100% the truth. It is also my birthday. Best day of the year to have a birthday. Fireworks are freaking awesome. I'm not doing that tonight. I'm a bit tired, but I'm going to go over that. I just got home about 2 hours ago, and I had a couple hours free, so I'm gonna do an impromptu stream, kind of talk about my trip and some other stuff. And depending on how long we go, maybe if you guys want to hop on and chat with me, maybe we'll see. I am pretty tired because biological clock is 10 hours ahead, so it's like 5:30 in the morning for me right now. But it's been a while since I've been live, and it's gonna be a while till I'm live again because I got lots of stuff going on IRL now that I'm back. So my next stream won't be for like another 2 weeks. So I was like, I'm gonna go live and I'm gonna talk about some stuff. So what is up, everyone? Good to see you guys. I can see I'm all decked out for the best day of the year, July 4th. Best day to also have a birthday. So good to see you guys coming in here with my impromptu kind of spur of the moment stream. October Mike, what's up? Good to see you. Haven't talked to you guys in a while. Oh, you know what? I want the music playing. So I'm just gonna be talking all night. Let's keep the music playing while I'm doing it. Last time I did that on my last open mic, the music was playing and I was hearing it, but I forgot to fix it in OBS so nobody on the stream could hear it the whole time. But you guys should be able to hear it. The level should be right, so it's not overpowering, but you can hear it. But October Mike saying happy birthday and happy 4th of July. Thank you, October Mike. Hope you are having a fun and safe 4th of July as well. I appreciate the well wishes. And Nightmare, what's up, buddy? Looking forward to chatting with you about real life stuff, because I had a lot of brainstorming time with my uncle on the trip, and he's very entrepreneurial as well, so he gave me lots to think about. So saying, hey, Neo, happy birthday and happy 4th. Thanks, and happy 4th to you as well. I know it's super cheesy, but not in school because it's always summer, so I never got to celebrate my birthday at school. But once I got out of school and was working, I would always joke with people. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to give you my birthday off. And they're like, oh, really? I'm like, yep, you all get my birthday off. And then they're like, oh, what's your birthday? It's like July 4th. Like, oh, haha, I get it, because we have it off anyways. And then on the day before, I'd be like, hey, have a happy my birthday. So, BD Jake is here. What's up, man? Hope you are doing well. I can't wait to talk to you again, because we still need our part 3 open mic, but I know you got lots of stuff going on IRL as well. But I hope we can make it happen sometime because I still got my notes of stuff that we need to talk about. So I hope you're having a great 4th of July. Says like the stream nerds, and happy birthday to my homie Nerdy Neo. I appreciate that. What's up, Crazy Landlow? How's it going? Happy 4th of July and birthday, Neo. Same here. My birthday is in June. Yeah, oh yeah. For people who have the summer birthdays, you don't really get to celebrate it with your friends in school. But I don't have a problem with that because literally, if I could choose a different day for my birthday, I wouldn't. This would be I would not pick a different day for my birthday. It is the best because, like, right in the middle of the year, it's perfectly spaced with Christmas. At least in our country, it's a holiday, so it's off for everyone. Fireworks are awesome. I love fireworks. The only time I didn't get fireworks for my birthday is twice because I was in Mexico on vacation, and so that was a pretty good reason to not get fireworks. But tonight, I'm hearing them. You might be able to hear them in the background. People just setting them off my area. I'm pretty tired, so I'm not going to go out and face the crowds, and so I'm not going to get to see any fireworks myself unless I pull it up on YouTube or something. But I have had literally the best trip ever. It was like a trip of a lifetime. So that in and of itself definitely qualifies as it wasn't for my birthday, but getting back on my birthday, although I did spend most of my birthday on a plane. But the trip was just amazing, so I'm going to get into that and talk about pretty much day by day, and it was just a trip of a lifetime. So good to see you guys showing up. Hope you're all doing well tonight and being safe, and hope you got to see some fireworks as well. I'm also, like, while we were on our trip, there was 8 of us in our group, and like a little like cold bug went around, and we all got varying levels of sick. So I got a little bit of a cough and a little bit of a stuffy nose, so you might be able to hear it in my voice. So I'm probably about running at 90% capacity, and like I said, it's super late right now because we were 9 and 10 hours ahead of Pacific time because I'm here in California. So currently it is 5 in the morning for my biological clock because the last 4 days I was in Rome, and they're 9 hours ahead. And for up until that time, the last 10 days before that, I was in various areas of Greece, and they're 10 hours ahead. So it's 6 in the morning their time. And I got up this morning about 6:30 because we had to get on our flight. So it's been a long day. Spent most of it on a plane. It was about a 13-hour plane ride. Didn't feel that long, though. But because I went back so many time zones and I was going with the sun, this is literally going to be my longest birthday ever because it'll be, like 24 hours plus the 9-hour time zone difference. So it's like a 33-hour birthday, which is pretty cool. So, all right. These things are great, but it kind of makes it hard to see. So I'm going to take these off. So, all right. So I have my notes here because, like, oh, what did you do on this day and this day? It's like even like a day after. It's like, what did we do yesterday? I don't remember. So I wrote down all of our stops so I could remember where we went. So, starting off on the 17th, that's when we left. So a bunch of my family, 6 of them, left at like the end of May, and they did like a week-long tour of Europe, and then they did 2 back-to-back 10-day cruises in the Mediterranean. I joined them for that second 10-day cruise. Me and I don't really know how to explain it. He's kind of been adopted, not officially, like legally or anything, because he's older than me, but he's kind of been adopted by the family. So he's kind of like part of the family now. But the 2 of us went and joined for that second half of the 10-day cruise. So we flew out of San Francisco. Drew T, what's up, Drew T? Saying happy birthday, America. Happy birthday, Neo. I appreciate that. Glad to see you. Thanks for the well wishes. Hope you're having a great 4th of July as well. But yeah, so I just got back from the greatest trip ever. And so I'm in Sacramento. We flew out of San Francisco. It's about 2 hours with no traffic. And We left at like 1:30 and got there about 3:30. I'd say 3:45 probably. We had a tiny bit of traffic, wasn't a big deal. But literally, like right after we got out of the car, I got a notification that our flight got delayed by like 8 hours. So we sat in the airport for like 8 hours just waiting. And the plane was there the whole time. No one got off. No one got on. It was just sitting there for no reason, no explanation, nothing. So we didn't actually, instead of leaving in the afternoon, we didn't actually leave until 12:30 a.m. The frustrating part was that it was just sitting there. Although, let's see here, was that? That was so long ago. They might have changed. Yeah, you know what? I think they changed us gates. So that plane that was sitting there the whole time wasn't the one that we actually took. But yeah, so we got delayed like 8 hours. Fortunately and unfortunately, because we had a layover at Heathrow in London. So we were going to have like 8 hours in London. So the plan was we were going to go out of the airport and see a little bit of London. Unfortunately, because of the 8-hour delay of the plane, we got off our flight in London and basically had to book it over to our next flight. Fortunately, we had a big enough gap so that we didn't miss our flight. But we didn't get to see any of London. I was in the airport and then left, so I didn't actually go see anything in London. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. But that was really the only snafu of the trip. What's up, Christian Frades? Good evening to you. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I appreciate that. So, yeah, so... and so we left at 12:30 a.m. from San Francisco. We landed in London, which would have been like 8:30 in the morning, our time, like California time. But because we're going against the time zones, we landed at like 5:30 in the evening. So we basically lost the entire day, and then immediately got on a plane at like, I think we landed at like 6:30 in London time, and then got on the next flight at like 8:30. And so that first one was like 10.5 hours, and then that second flight was from London to Athens, Greece. That was like a 4-hour flight, and we lost an additional hour due to time zone. So we basically lost like a day and a half. It was like boom, that whole day just gone. And we landed in Athens at like 2 or 3 in the morning. And then we got a cab and got to our hotel at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And then checked in. I thought I was going to sleep for like 24 hours. So I fell asleep. And then when I woke up, I didn't set an alarm or anything. I was just going to wake up naturally. I looked at the time like, oh, it's only 11 o'clock. I'm like, wait a minute. What day is it? It was only like 8 hours later. I thought maybe it was going to be like 24 hours later. Like the next morning, I slept the whole day, but I didn't actually sleep a whole day. But there was like basically zero jet lag on the way there. It's just we basically lost a whole day. So for a day, me and my buddy, we spent the day in Athens, and we went and saw the Acropolis, which is... Well, if you go look up the Acropolis in Athens, Greece, you'll see it's like very old. Like tons of things that we saw were like multi-thousands of years old. Like when you put it in perspective, like America was founded in 1776. So what today is our 249th birthday, I believe. So it's because 76 to 2026, I think, would be 250 years. That'll be next year. So I'm pretty sure today is 249 years. And so these countries, or these buildings in these countries, have been around for like 3, 4, 5,000, 6,000 years. It's crazy to think about. So it was fascinating to get to go see some of this super old historical stuff. I know when I talk to Carl, like he's gonna like geek out about it because he's a history. I think he was a history major, but he loves history and stuff. Ryan too, my two party chat co-hosts. He's a big history buff as well, so they'll probably love hearing the stories about it and be able to tell me more about these things that I didn't even learn on the trip. So we went to the Acropolis that day, just walked around. We didn't have a guide or anything. That definitely would have made it better. But after we did the actual Acropolis, we went into the Acropolis Museum and had like a self-guided audio tour on your phone, and so we did that for a couple hours. It was really fascinating. But if you go and do any of these things, I highly can't stress that enough. Recommend like a guided tour with like an actual person. It makes a huge difference. But yeah, completely unrelated to where we like the stuff we were looking at, but the temperature was hot the whole time. It was like the high 90s with like very high humidity. So it was very sweltering and constantly sweating. So I figured I was probably going to need to do some laundry, but it's like I didn't have any place to do any laundry. But fortunately I packed enough clothes. But and then so we spent the day in Athens. Then the rest of my family that was already on the cruise got off and met us the next morning at our hotel. We met up. Then they went and did the Acropolis. And then what else did we do that day? Since we'd already done the Acropolis, we were kind of just along for the ride and letting them kind of experience it. And then, yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of time because that's like... So the cruise was awesome. We had a lot of amazing stops. This was not a relaxing vacation. We were like nonstop, go, like the whole time. It would have been nice to have a few days where we just sit on the beach and like put our feet in the water and like read a book for a couple days to relax before we came home. Because I said it's like this is one of those vacations where it would have been nice to have a vacation from the vacation. But it was awesome. It was a blast. It was so much fun. Got to see so much exciting stuff. But it was very, very... It did not feel like it was, like 2.5 weeks. It went very quickly because we were just so active the whole time. And that's one of the pros and cons of like a cruise. You get to go and see like a lot of places in a short period of time, but you don't really get to fully experience a lot of them because it's like, all right, you have like, go out on land and do your excursion, then you got to be back by 5 or 5:30 before the ship leaves without you. So, yeah, so we didn't have a whole lot of time that day because we had to be back on board they had to be back on board. We hadn't boarded yet, so we had to go and get checked in and board the ship, like 5:30 or 6. And we went on Princess Cruise Line. It was so that was my 4th cruise. The first cruise I ever did was Princess Cruise Line. The next 2 were Carnival, and this one was with Princess again. And really nice, super nice ship. I definitely recommend them. Carnival is more... I don't even know if I could say that, but Carnival has more of a... geared towards like not like a younger audience like kids, but there's just like usually like more stuff going on. There was still tons of stuff going on the ship like all the time, but just a lot of the ship was geared more towards an older audience. So most people, I was kind of like in this weird stopgap in passengers because like you have a bunch of like families with like maybe some younger kids and then like a bunch of boomers. There was like no one like in their like 30s or 40s, so I was kind of like there wasn't really anyone else on the ship my age. It was kind of like one end of the spectrum or the other, but the ship was very nice and had a lot, like a buffet. You can go to get food almost anytime. They did close like late at night, so you couldn't get any food, but like buffet you can go to like any time of day. They had like 3 or 4 restaurants on the ship. They've got a couple of theaters for different like shows and stuff. They had shows like every night, and they were almost all of them were like Vegas style level of shows. They were like top tier quality stuff. So the ship itself was amazing, and it was great. So from Athens, let's see here. Our first stop on the 21st was Mykonos, Greece. And it was beautiful. Though everyone complained about the water being too cold, it was a bit chilly. I didn't mind it. I thought it was nice and refreshing. But everyone's like, oh, it's too cold. It was quite, well, depending on where you were on the island, it was quite windy. So most of the group is like, I want to stay on the beach until like it was like last call to go back to the ship. But the rest of my group are a little bit, how do I put it nicely? I don't want to say pansy because that's not the right word, but if everything's not exactly perfect, they're like, I'd rather go back to the ship. So we only spent like an hour or two maybe at the beach because they're like, the water's too cold and it's too windy. I'm like, the beach was beautiful. That was the best beach we saw the entire trip. But the water was a bit. Oh, we got a raid over on Twitch from Paul because he was doing a 4th of July stream as well. So I appreciate it, Paul. Shout out to my good buddy Paul, who I got to meet in Vegas and hang out with, and he's a good dude. Paul, if you're there, the buddy I was on the trip with, I was telling him about you a lot because we met and hung out, and I was telling him about Vegas and stuff. I actually even showed him your recap video, and I was telling him about your band. So remind me of what your band name was when you were like in high school or something. I remember it was named after like an STD. I was like, it was like gonorrhea or syphilis or something like that. So Paul, if you're there in chat, remind me of what your band name was. But yeah, so Mykonos, best beach. It was the beach we were at was like on the other side of the island, so it was not very windy, but it was like a high breeze. Once we walked across to the other side of the island, it was crazy windy. But there was this like amazing bay. Like I did not want to leave because one of the sport that I really want to do at some point, it's like on my bucket list, is kite surfing, where you basically have a wakeboard and like a parachute to pull you. I want to do that so bad. And there was this bay that it was like chlamydia. Thank you, Bliss. That's what it was. What's up, Bliss? How's it going? Thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna have to text him now and remind and be like, hey, this was what his band name was. I was trying to remember when I was telling you about it. But yeah, this bay was a beautiful bay. It was windy, but it was like a perfect setting to learn how to kite surf, and there was like a bunch of kite surfers on the way, when we went past it the first time, there was only a couple, but then on the way back, there was like a ton of them. But I was like, I want to go back here, and I want to learn how to kite surf here, because that would be freaking amazing. So these dudes were like, because it was so windy, they'd like stay airborne forever, for like, metaphorically forever. These dudes getting hair, and they're like hanging for like, I don't know, it felt like 10 seconds. But I want to do that so bad. But yeah, so we went back to the ship because we didn't have a whole lot of time. So that was our first stop was Mykonos. Day 2 was Ephesus, which I didn't realize this is in Turkey, and Turkey is part of Asia. So I've now been to 4 continents. Obviously North America. I've been to Africa. This was a real trip to Europe. I had previously been to Europe on that Africa trip. I had about a 8-hour layover in Frankfurt, Germany, so I did actually have to go out of the airport and see some of Frankfurt. But it's like, is that really considered like seeing Europe? I would say not. So I kind of count it with the asterisk on it. But this was my first time where I actually went to see Europe, because I had a lot of stops in various countries of Europe. But Turkey, I was like, wait a minute, Turkey's in Asia. I didn't realize that. So this is my first time in Asia. So now North America, Africa, Europe, and Asia. So I've got 4 continents, because that's another thing that I've always thought would be cool to have on my bucket list, is visiting all 7 continents. So I still need to do South America, Australia, and Antarctica, and that's going to be the tough one. I fully expect to do South America and Australia at some point. Antarctica is going to be the tough one. Paul's dropping in saying happy birthday. Thank you for the raid, Paul. I hope you're having a great my birthday. I was talking about that earlier. And hope you had a great stream. So good to see you, buddy, and appreciate that raid. So yeah. But yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, so we did a guided tour of Ephesus, which was it was like the center of the world before Rome became the capital, or maybe they took it back. We learned so much stuff, so it's kind of fuzzy, but we had like a fantastic tour guide, and he was telling us all about everything, and we saw Ephesus, a lot of stuff that happened there like stuff that you might have read like in the Bible and stuff. It's like cool to see some of these places from like these historical events that happened so many thousands of years ago, and how advanced the civilizations were in these places thousands of years ago. So Ephesus was really cool. Like I said, like all the stops, very hot, very humid. But I wanted. I was gonna go through some of my souvenirs that I got at each stop, so I forgot the one I got in Ephesus. So I'll be right back. All right, I got it. I got this cool like guidebook on Ephesus, and it has these cool things, these cool sections in the book here, where you can see. Come on. Split page. There we go. Where it has a picture of like what it looks like today, and then it has like a see-through page that you can flip over and see what it looked like, 2,000 or 3,000 years ago. So, and I haven't read this yet. I just kind of glanced through it, but a really cool book all about Ephesus. That was a great tour. Paul says, why is Insidious Bliss talking about my old man? Right as you rated, I was saying how the guy I went with, I was telling him about you, and I showed him because I was telling him about the Vegas trip, and like he knows about my YouTube channel, so I was telling him about like the YouTube stuff, and so I mentioned Vegas and how Paul, you and I hung out, and that you're a musician. And he was asking me about, is he in a band? I'm like, yes, he was in a band, but I can't remember the name of the band. But I remember it was named after an STD. So I was asking you what the name was, but you probably hadn't hopped into my stream yet. You had only rated me. So Bliss filled me in, and that's why Bliss mentioned Chlamydia, because I couldn't remember the name of your band. But yeah, so Ephesus, if you like historical stuff, amazing city. And I didn't even realize it until like yesterday, because almost all of the countries in Europe, not all, like most of them, are all on the euro. So you don't have all these, tons of different currencies. Most of the trip most of our stops were in various places in Greece, since Greece has got a lot of islands. So I didn't even realize it until like yesterday. Someone was talking about the conversion rate for Turkey. I'm like, I didn't. This book I actually bought with euros, though, so that's why I was thinking that Turkey used euros. But no, the official currency of Turkey is the Turkish lira, Lyra, and I you know what? I have no idea what the conversion rate is. But I did. It didn't like click in my brain until someone was mentioning the conversion rate yesterday before we left, because when I was in the like the souvenir shop before we left Ephesus, all the things were in like the tens of thousands, and I'm like, these things cannot be that much, and I didn't click with me. It's because they have their own currency. Turkish lira to USD. Let's see here. 0.025. So it's one whole Turkish lira dollar is 2.5 cents of American. If I wouldn't, because one of the things I like to do is collect foreign currency, even if they're not places I've been. Like if someone goes on a trip and they're like, "Hey, what's something you would like?" I'm like, "Save me a few dollars or coins of currency." So I've got all of my euros that I have left over. Got some coins, and I got a couple dollar bills of euros right there. If I would have realized it, I would have I would have like converted some of my euros to Turkish lira just so I have a few of them on hand. But I didn't even realize that Turkey had its own currency until like yesterday. So, what's up, Devastator? How's it going? Saying happy birthday and God bless to many more, Nerdy Neo. Thank you, Devastator. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great 4th of July. If it is still 4th of July for you. It should be. For some of you guys, you may only have a half an hour left. But I know a bunch of you guys are in Central, so you still got... Oh, I know Christian is in East Coast, so he's only probably got like 30 minutes left. assuming my math is correct, I am quite tired because my biological clock, it's like 7 a.m. and I got up at I've been up for not technically 24 hours, but biological clock-wise, 24 hours since I just came from Rome. I was in Rome this morning, and they are 8-9 hours ahead, so I'm kind of tired, but I had Nightmares the East Coast as well. So, am I right about that? You guys got 30 minutes more of the 4th? Hey, Nerd Takes, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while. That's because I've been offline on my trip. But hope you are doing well and appreciate the birthday wishes. So, yeah, I wish I would have realized Turkey had their own currency. I would have got some. But so that was our second day. Our third day was in Rhodes, Greece. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of our stops were in Greece. 1 was Turkey, and we had 2 in Italy. So that's kind of and 1 was Malta, which I thought was part of Italy, but it's actually its own country. Okay, I did have the time right. Thank you, Nightmare. It's like, usually I'm really good with it, but since I'm pretty tired, I'm like, I think my time math in my head is correct, but I could be wrong. So thank you for verifying for me. Happy 4th of July as well. Yes! Happy 4th of July. So Rhodes was really cool. Saw some really old stuff. Went and hung out at a beach that was like not as nice as the Mykonos beach, but the water was much, much warmer, and it was pretty shallow, so you could swim out pretty far, and the clarity was pretty clear, so you could swim out pretty far and still see the bottom. And we sat on a rock for a while that was like just a pretty flat rock sticking out of the water. We just sat there and chatted for a while to cool off after making this hike up this, basically like up to the top of this mesa where there was a castle on top, or the remains of a castle. And we found that this place that had lunch right on the beach, and then hung out on the beach for a couple hours and swam and stuff. That was a lot of fun. I don't think, didn't get anything there. Oh, I forgot. And going through like what I got as I went along, I forgot. In Athens, my first stop, I got this cool little, like I said, I like to collect currency. This isn't currency, but I got this cool little Athens commemorative coin with, let's see here, I think this one has Athena on one side, because that Athens is named after Athena. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's Athena on that side. Let's see here. And the other side is Poseidon, so I thought that was pretty cool. So I got a little commemorative coin while I was in Athens. So, but yeah, Rhodes, Crete. Crete was really cool. It's one of my favorite stops. Just had this really, really cool like town right on the water. We didn't really go and look at a whole lot when we went to Crete, but we did take a horse-drawn carriage ride around the town and just kind of see everything, and that was really cool. Then we went through the market and we got lunch, and then there's souvenir shops and stuff everywhere. Whoa, one of the big things in Italy is like leather. There's like a billion leather stores, and they all smell amazing. I didn't get anything that's leather, but every time I walked by one, I had to take a big whiff of it because it smelled so good. But we just walking through, and we saw a little vendor shop that had some things that not a lot of other shops had, and so we stopped in. And me being a big fan of Rubik's Cubes, you see them all over here on my background. The biggest one I have or had is this one right here. That's my 6x6. Not counting my Gigaminx right there, but that's actually only a 5x5 version. Like there's the Megaminx, that's the 12-sided 3x3, whereas the Gigaminx here, right there, is the 5x5 version of the 12-sided. So that's my 5x5 right there. But I've got my 6x6 right there. But they had a bunch of Rubik's Cubes, and I saw one in the window, and that's what caught my attention. So I went in, and I ended up getting I haven't solved it yet. I'm getting really close, but I got a new one. I got a 9x9, so this is now my largest one. I've been I've spent hours working on this one, trying to solve it without any help. Even with help, I'm having a lot of trouble with it. So I haven't solved it yet, but I have my new largest cube is my 9x9. So there's a lot of parity algorithms I need to learn in order to solve this one. Unsurprisingly, I hadn't thought about it before. I figured I'd be able to solve it first time with no help. That's not the case. I'm having a lot of trouble. Even the guy in the plane, one of the stewards on the plane today, saw me working on it. And he's like, "Are you going to solve that by the end of the flight?" I'm like, "I'm trying to." And at the end of the flight, he's like, "Did you solve it?" I'm like, "I didn't solve it." So I did make a lot of progress on the flight today, but I have not solved it yet. So I got this in Crete. And just a really cool town right on the water. We had a great lunch with some great drinks. And, that's the other thing. Because I've been wearing, the hat I usually wear on stream, my Salty Nerd podcast hat. Shout out to Salty Nerds. This is literally my favorite hat I've ever owned. So I was wearing this all the time, but doesn't cover my ears. So after a couple days, the top of my ears were like peeling like crazy. But while we were on Crete, we saw a hat store, and I walked over and I just grabbed. They had a bunch of fedoras. I'm like, I've never worn a fedora before, so I put one on. I'm like, "Hey, how's this look?" And my aunt was like, "Oh, that looks really good." So I got that. She bought me this fedora, and I've been wearing this every day since, and I love this hat. So, and it helps protect my ears. So I now own a fedora. It is a bit dirty, so I have to wash it because, like I said, it was very hot. So you can see the salt sweat stains in here. I'm going to have to wash it. But I've been wearing this every day since, let's see here. I got it in Crete, which was on the 24th. So I've been wearing it every day since. I love this hat. What do you guys think of my new fedora? Does it look good? I like it. So she bought me the hat. So I was like, thank you. So, and it does a lot better job of protecting my face from the sun. Speaking of from the sun, I actually only did sunscreen one day, and only just today I actually started peeling just a little bit. Not like burned peeling, but just because you might not be able to tell, but I was already pretty tan to begin with, and I just got like even more tan. The best way, well, I don't know if you can see it, but my watch tan, because I always wear my watch, is kind of where I can tell like how much tan I've got. So, but I only did sunscreen one day because it was like, I was gonna do it on Mykonos, but I figured, with a group of 8, someone would have sunscreen. No one had any sunscreen. So that night, someone got sunscreen, and then the next day, let's see, what was that? That was the Ephesus day. I used sunscreen because we were out walking around in the sun like all day that day. That was the only day I had to use any sunscreen. I didn't get burned other than the tops of my ears because I just I tan very well. So Drew T says, "Love the hat, both of them." Well, thank you. I love it too. So I don't know if I'm gonna be wearing that on stream, but I am gonna be wearing my new fedora like a lot when I go out and about and stuff because I really like that hat. So. Oh, Flame Mage is here. What's up, Flame Mage? I did see that you wished me happy birthday earlier on Discord, but I appreciate you wishing me happy birthday live in chat. Hope you are doing well and having a great 4th of July. So I'm just recapping my vacation trip since I got a couple hours here because I won't be back online again for a couple more weeks. I had a couple hours. I'm like, let me go ahead and do it. It's my birthday. And once I get through all this, if anybody wants to hop on and just like chat with me about whatever for a little bit, we may do that. So I definitely want to get through all of my vacation stuff first. Hey, Snap's there too, saying happy birthday, Nia. Hope you have a great one. It has been different, given that I was on a plane for 13 hours today, but coming back from an incredible trip. So I don't mind spending most of my birthday on a plane when I've just had literally like the trip of a lifetime. But he wished me a happy birthday in Discord as well earlier, but thanks for additionally doing it here live in chat. Sounds like you had a great trip. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, we're only like halfway through it so far. So, yeah, Crete. And then we kind of split up after after we stopped at the store and I ended up getting my 9x9, I went to the beach because everywhere there was a beach, I wanted to go swimming. I spent as much time in the water as possible. Certain stops didn't have, like Ephesus, there was no water, no swimming. But every stop that had water, I'm like, I want to go to the beach and I'm going to go swimming. So yeah, Crete, hung out at the beach for a couple hours till it was time to go. My buddy, he swam like this beach was kind of like on the end of kind of like a harbor. There's a bunch of like tour boats out at the other end, and he swam like all the way out there, and he got like scolded by the boat captains out there, like, you're swimming too far. I couldn't hear it, but I saw him swimming way out there, and he told me once he got back in that he got scolded by the ship captains because he was out swimming too far. Yeah, that wasn't a great beach, but I got to chill on the beach and go swimming, and like I said, I want to swim everywhere I could. So that was Crete, part of Greece. The next stop on the 25th was Katakalon. I literally have pronounced this like a billion different ways, and even once I got it down, I'm still like have to think about it. Like, am I getting it right? And I'm pretty sure I've got it right now. And it was Katakalon, Greece, which was where the site of the very first Olympics ever took place back in like 400 BC or something. So that was really cool. Again, very hot, but it was cool to go and see. This was one where we didn't have like a guided tour or anything, so it would have been cool to have a guided tour of it. But I like to read all the plaques. They had a really cool museum there as well that laid out a lot of these places. Like, if you go to like the actual site, a lot of the plaques don't really give you a whole lot of information about it. It's more about like the restoration of it, not as much data or information about what it was used for in the past. But a lot of these sites had like an actual museum attached somewhere, where that's where you'd find a lot more about it, the information of like what happened here, way back in the day. So that museum was really cool too, but very hot. They had the site of the where they actually did the running events, for 3,000 years ago or whatever it was. It is not a legend or anything. Like, women were not allowed, and so only men were allowed to compete, and only men were allowed to spectate. That's the word I was looking for. And yes, it was the competitors were in the nude. That is not a legend. That is true. I heard it from an expert museum itself. But anyways, I did not compete in the nude. There was no competing. But where they did do the running, I did run that whole length, which was, I don't know. It gave it in some sort of measurement. It was like it was like, I could be having the numbers wrong, but it was like 238.5 meters or something, some like weird measurement. But whatever the distance was, I like took off my backpack because I always had my backpack on me, so I could carry my water and some other stuff with me. So my backpack was a little heavy, so I took my backpack off. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this. So I gave it my all, and I sprinted the whole thing as fast as I could. I have not run that fast, that long, in a very long time. But given that I've been a bit more active lately, I've lost some weight, I've been active, doing swimming, working on cardio. I did it in like 35 seconds. I was pretty impressed with myself. Obviously, it's not going to be like any record. There was no record like leaderboard or anything, but I felt pretty proud of myself for doing it. And I think it was like 30, I think when I hit the stop button, because I timed myself, I think it was like 35.4, but the amount of time it took me from the time I crossed the line to hit the button was probably like a second and a half or so. So it was probably about 34 something seconds. Whatever that length of distance was on that track, I did it like 34 and a half seconds. So a lot of other people were like doing it like half-assed, like jogging it or just walking it. I walked to the one end and then I sprinted back. So that was kind of cool. I sprinted on the track where people actually competed in the Olympics thousands of years ago. So that was pretty cool. My mom got it on a video of it on her phone. So, yeah, that one also did not have any swimming. So, especially on the days it had no swimming, as soon as I get back on the ship, I went to the pool and cooled off in the pool. So all right, so that was Cataclon. All right, so then the next day, the 26th, was the sea day. The most relaxed of any days of the trip. There wasn't really a whole lot of stuff going on. I mean, there's like I said, there's always stuff going on the ship. Like every night after dinner, there was like a amazing like Vegas levels show, and they were all pretty amazing. But we just kind of chilled, played some games. My uncle and I hung out on the back deck, looking out at the water. Both sea days, we had our cigars out there, and that was really great. And that's where we did a lot of brainstorming. He asked me about Nightmare, what you and I are working on, so I gave him the full lowdown, and he gave me some ideas. So we got lots to talk about. But we got is it a new name I have not seen before? Hello, is it Jay Talon 77? I appreciate the happy birthday wishes. Thank you. And good to see you. So this is a bit different of a stream for me. Normally everything on my channel is all video games related. But I've been gone for 2.5 weeks on a vacation. So, and I will be busy with IRL stuff for the next 2 weeks or so. So I'll basically be like about a month without really anything going on my channel. But I just got back from my trip today. So I was like, this is the only chance I got. So I'm going to go live and just kind of recap my trip. But yeah, once I'm back to my regularly scheduled grind, everything's all video game related. So if you like video games, I'd appreciate the sub, and you'll see video game stuff related towards the end of July once I get back into the regular swing of things. But I appreciate the happy birthday wishes. Sons and Shadows is here. What's up, Sons and Shadows? Good to see you. Wishing me a happy birthday as well. I appreciate that. And I have so many of your guys' because my internet connection was super spotty, especially being out in the middle of the ocean for a lot of this. So I tried to keep up with as much stuff as possible. But my backlog, my playlists of all the people I follow and the streams and stuff, it's gonna take me at least a week to get through. Even though I watch everything at ×2 speed, it's still gonna. I have so much stuff backlogged. It's gonna take me a while to get all caught up on everything all you guys that I follow. But I will do it. So, but good to see you, Sons of Shadow. Hope you're doing well. I did see that you messaged me, I think, on Twitter or Discord. I definitely will get back to you about that, because, yeah, I definitely want to come on and talk some more Stargate. I'll probably get back to you on that in the next week or so. So, Imp is here. What's up, Imp? Good evening to you, sir. Saying, hey, happy birthday, happy 4th. I appreciate that. Thank you, as always, for the birthday wishes. Yeah, just summarizing my amazing vacation of a lifetime. So, but all right. So we had a sea day, just chilled, relaxed. That was literally the 2 sea days were the only days where it was just relaxed. We didn't have to get up at 8 a.m. to go do a tour and then be back by a certain time before the ship leaves. So. It would have been nice to have a couple of days to just chill and do nothing before we came back, but I'm not going to complain because it was an amazing trip. You swam back? Dang, dude, no. I just spent the last 13 hours on a plane ride from Rome to San Francisco today, so I'll get to that at the end. That would be a very long swim. I'm not that strong. I am a strong swimmer, not that strong of a swimmer. Send in that GDO for Stargate, brother. Right on, no worries. So the 27th was Valletta, Malta. Valletta was the city in Malta that we were at. So Malta, I mentioned this a little bit before. I thought Malta was just an island that's part of Italy. Malta is its own country. It still uses the euro like most of the countries that we visited, but it is its own sovereign nation. It's this little island south of Sicily, and very, from what I hear, a very wealthy island. Lots of money in this island. One thing that not to get political, but I've heard political wise that if you go overseas, you see all these other countries have cars from all these different brands except America. You go overseas, you don't see American cars overseas, but you see plenty of foreign cars here in America. So I had that in the back of my mind, and on all these stops I kept my eye out, and I really did not see any Lots of, like Nissans and Toyotas and stuff. There was a lot of car brands out there that we don't even have in the States, like Dacia, Lancia, Peugeot, Renault. There's probably like 2 or 3 others that I saw a bunch of all over the place. To plenty of brands that we don't even have in the States. And I did see some cars from makers that we do have, but the models we don't have in the States. So, like I said, I was kind of keeping that in the back of my mind, just kind of keeping an eye at everywhere we went on how many American cars I saw. And until Malta, I think I had seen 3 American cars, a Jeep and 2 Fords. At Malta, that went up from like 3 cars to like 20 American cars total. I mean, still not a lot, but it basically like pentupled the amount of American cars I saw. And it's just because of like the tariffs on American cars is like so much higher than all the rest. So it's like, why is it okay for them to tariff us for our cars, but it's not okay for us to tariff them for their cars? So just an interesting thought. And then once we got to Rome at the end, I was still keeping an eye out. There were a lot of Fords. I did see a lot of Fords in Rome. Saw a decent number of Jeeps, and I saw a couple Teslas. But other than that, that was it. Still, everything there was all, foreign cars. I did not see a single like expensive like Italian car. I didn't see any like Lamborghinis. Didn't see any Ferraris. Did see some nice Mercedes. Obviously that's not Italian, but being in Italy, I thought I'd see some nice Italian cars. Lots of the tiny little Fiats. That's a very common brand there. But I didn't see any like super sports cars, unfortunately. But anyways, Malta. We also took a like a carriage ride around the city and got to see it, and that was pretty cool. They have this wall of like actual cannons from like the 1700s, and they fire them twice a day. Not actual cannonballs, they fire blanks. But the day we were there was some sort of special event, and they didn't fire the cannon, so that was kind of a disappointment. But really cool place. My stepdad, who's the one who arranged the whole trip, he's like, we're gonna have to come back here sometime. I'm like, I don't have a problem with that. So, hey, Winter Prince, what is up? Good to see you, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while. Your birthday is July 4th? Yes, no joke, 100%. My birthday is July 4th. I could show you my ID, but then I have to cover up like my name and year and stuff because I don't want, and my address. I don't want you guys to have my personal information. But yes, swear to God, hand on the Bible, my birthday is July 4th. No lie. And not only that, the time of my birth is in 5 minutes from now, 8:55 p.m. Pacific time. It's 8:50 right now. I was born during the fireworks. So, yeah, no joke. It is my actual birthday, and it is the best day of the year to have a birthday. I talked about that earlier, but I would not choose another day to have my birthday if I had the choice. Best day ever to have a birthday. So, happy birthday. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, yeah, Malta was really nice, really cool. I have a feeling we'll probably go back. Oh, some of these stops we saw, some of these yachts in the harbor were, like, amazing. It's like, these are, like, we're like, estimates, like, how much do you think that yacht costs? So, like, probably easily $100 million, and we saw multiple of these in a lot of these different harbors. Like, some of these yachts in the harbors were amazing. So, Malta, then we had another day at sea, just hung out on the ship, had another cigar with my uncle on the deck, looking over the ocean. Oh, on that second sea day, it was, I don't know, I'm sure I could find it on the map if I go and pull up the map of kind of like the route we took. It was cool. There was this giant mountain in the middle of the ocean. It was a volcano, of course. But yeah, it was just kind of weird because I've never like seen that before. Where it's just, it wasn't like an island. I mean, there was you could see a town at the base of it, but it was just like a mountain sticking out of the ocean. It was kind of cool to see, just out in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. It's just a giant mountain. But yeah, we also went through, I don't know what the strait is called, but Sicily and Italy, because Sicily, if you're looking at Italy, it looks like the boot. Right off the tip of the boot is this like kind of triangular shaped island. That's Sicily. The narrowest space between the coast of Italy and the coast of Sicily is less than 2 miles, so it's not like super narrow, but it's pretty narrow. And we went through that to get to our next stop, which was Naples. It was kind of weird that, like, as we were going through that strait, it was like super windy, and then as soon as we got through the strait, like, it was perfectly calm. It was kind of weird. But yeah, so that was the second sea day, and the only other day we had to just chill and relax. Then the next day, like I said, we had Naples, and that was a very busy day because we had like a tour that went to like 3 different places. I don't have the information. You know what? Let me pull up and go through. I took a lot of pictures of like a lot of the stuff we saw. Basically, all the pictures of our group with the people in it are on my mom and my stepdad's phone. But I'm gonna have them all send me all the pictures. Then I'm gonna I'm blanking on the term for when you kind of not subsidize. When you take a bunch of collections of things and I'll bring them into one place. What's the word for that? I'm totally blanking because I've been up for essentially like 24 hours. But I'm going to do that with all of our pictures and then kind of like organize them and stuff so that we all have access to all the pictures we took. But let's see here. Nope, that's Rome. That's too far. That was... Oh yeah, so perfect. Here's the day. So Naples. Hey, Nerd Slap is here. What's up, Nerd Slap? How's it going? Hey, happy birthday, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you for the birthday wishes. And I am just recapping the vacation of a lifetime. What was the most enjoyable food you got to experience? Ooh, that is a good question. Because you know, the cruise ship had great food, but probably the best food we had was Naples was our second to last day. Our last stop where we got off was Rome, and then we had about 4 days in Rome before we flew home this morning. We had a lot of amazing food in Rome. Or I should just say Italy in general. Nerds, happy Independence Day. Yes, happy Independence Day to all of you guys as well. Yesterday's lunch, because we actually went to Florence yesterday, and I don't know if it was the best pizza I have ever had in my life. It was very, very good pizza. It was definitely the best pizza I had on the trip. Or was that 2 days ago? Yeah, that was 2 days ago we went to Florence. Yesterday's lunch, my mom got this pasta. I only had one bite, but it was amazing. There was so much good pasta and pizza. I mean, we're in Italy, of course. That's like their, what they're known for. But I don't know if I could pick one thing, but it was either some of the pizza or some of the pasta I had. A lot of it was just amazing, especially since, like, my favorite meal is a Japanese meal. It's very basic. My favorite single meal is teriyaki chicken and rice. I can eat that like forever. I'm a bit of a picky eater, so I love Italian food because, like I said, one of my favorite meals is Japanese, but there's a lot of stuff in Japanese food that I don't care for. Like, I like seafood, like I love fish and stuff, but I don't like calamari or octopus, like some of those more weirder things. I'm not huge on sushi rolls. Not that I mind raw fish. I'm just not big on like sushi rolls and stuff. So, but Italian food, like, I love like almost everything in Italian food. I'm like, it has the widest variety of food that I will eat. So I love Italian food. So that's a great question though, Drew T. But it would have to be, a lot of us, we often would order different stuff. It's like, oh, you're going to get this. I'm torn between these two things. Oh, you're going to get this. I'm going to get the other one. So we'd all take bites of each other's foods and stuff to kind of get a good experience of it. And there's just so much good pasta and pizza. I couldn't pick one, but it would be one of those two. So good question. But anyway, so second last day was Naples. We took a tour that had like 3 stops. The first stop was Positano, which is this very, very extravagant town. It's like built into the cliffs. Like, I don't know if you... And this place is like super nice. And it's got, the road to it is like super narrow. Sometimes it's 2 lanes, sometimes it's 1 lane. And it's like, if you were to, there is a railing, but if you were to go through the railing, it's like hundreds of feet down into either rocks or the ocean. And they're very narrow. So it's got this really windy road into this super pretty, like, quaint little town. I took this panorama. I don't know if you can really see it that well. Let's see here. Maybe. But maybe that kind of gives you an idea. I took a lot of panoramic shots. But this really cool town, like, they had a little beach. But is basically everything is just built into these cliffs. It's a really cool town called Positano. And then we went, because it's not far from there, we also went on that day to the city of Pompeii, which was destroyed by the volcano Vesuvius in like 79 AD. We didn't see any bodies, like they'd all been removed. But some of them had been moved. Like I said earlier, a lot of these places like have museums attached. Some of the bodies have been moved to the museum, and other ones have just been stored for preservation. So I didn't get to see any in the houses, but we actually got to go walk through the town. I have a map of it, and it was a big town. We only got to see like a fraction of it just because we were on such a tight schedule because there was so much to do that day. But it was really cool going through the town of Pompeii and getting to see Vesuvius. That one was really cool. I feel like there was 3 things we stopped at that day. I can't think of what the other one was, but those were the 2 big things of Naples. I guess it was just Naples. We didn't really get to see Naples. There wasn't really a whole lot to see in Naples itself, but there was some other stuff nearby. So we had to take like a bus. But that was really cool. And then the last day, we got off on the 30th in Rome. And so the 30th, we kind of walked around Rome, got gelato. I had a lot of gelato. That was really good too. Lots of gelato places are freaking everywhere in Rome. I'm assuming that's probably pretty consistent throughout a lot of the big cities in Italy, but gelato is everywhere, and it was really good. But because I have this thing where I don't consider it a dessert if it has like fruit in it. A lot of the gelatos are very fruit flavored. Like for me, it has to be like vanilla or chocolate or something. That's why I don't consider pie a dessert, because most pies are fruit. It's like cake is a dessert unless it has got fruit in it, then it's not. But pie is like, you can like it. It's very sweet, got lots of sugar in it, but I don't consider it a dessert because it's fruit. Fruits and veggies should not be, in my book, if it's got fruit or veggies in it, it's not a dessert. And I say veggies because I don't understand why people like carrot cake. Why does that exist? It's a disgrace to cake. But anyways, side note. Yeah, gelato places everywhere. And most of the flavors were all like fruity. Pistachio. Not that that's a fruit or anything, although I guess maybe technically it's considered a fruit. I don't know. Pistachio flavor is like everywhere. I like pistachios, but like pistachio flavored ice cream, I'm gonna pass. So the selection of gelatos in all these places for like vanilla and chocolate, they had like 1 out of like 20, and like all the other ones were all these different fruity flavors. So my choice of gelatos were very limited, but all the gelatos I had were really great. Oh, another thing, lemons. They have lemon everything. Like lemons are huge there. So their lemon slushies were amazing. They were fantastic. Carrot cake is practically a vegetable. Thank you, Nightmare. Thank you. Yeah, it's like, get that crap out of here. That is not a dessert. Carrot cake is a disgrace to cake. But oh, I put it right here and I forgot. Day 1 in Athens, when we were at the Acropolis, I saw a little souvenir shop that had a bunch of cool shirts, and I had to get a really dope Spartan one because we're in Greece, right? That's where the Spartans and stuff were. So I got this Never Retreat, Never Surrender Spartan shirt, and this thing is dope. So you'll be seeing me wear this on streams and stuff, but I need to wash it because I wore it a few times and it's gotten dirty. So I've got a ton of laundry to do this weekend, but I was like, that is dope. So that's my Spartan shirt that I've got now. I got that. Like, that was the first thing I got. Thank you. I don't get pistachio flavored ice cream. My parents love it. I haven't actually even tried pistachio flavored ice cream. I'm sure it's okay. It's just, I don't want pistachio flavored ice cream. If I'm going to get ice cream, I want like chocolate or vanilla or caramel or something like that. You know, like actual like ice cream flavors. My favorite ice cream ever is one that I recently discovered, and the only place I can find it at is Safeway, because it's Safeway Select. It's like their own brand. It's like peanut butter, chocolatey, candy cookie crunch or something. It's like vanilla and Butterfinger and chocolate chips, and it's amazing. It's like the best ice cream I've ever had, but I have to go to Safeway to get it. So I have to go a little bit out of my way to get it. I have some in my freezer. I'm going to have some tonight after I eat. But yeah, pistachio, like, I love pistachios, but I don't want pistachio flavored ice cream. But anyways, gelato places everywhere, and it's really good gelato. And yeah, like, I had a few like these lemon slushies, and they were amazing. I had a triple chocolate ice cream at Cold Stone today. It was good. That sounds pretty good. I will almost. Yes, I'm. It's like, are you still there? Like, yes, I'm using this music. Shout out to DJ Access and Paul for always having great music to lend me for my stream. So shout out to Paul and DJ Access. So all the music, almost all the music. I think one track so far I've gotten this playlist isn't Paul or DJ. But yeah, shout out to DJ and Paul for having great music and being so generous with allowing people to use it for the streams without copyright striking. But yeah, so I like vanilla ice cream with like chocolate like sauce or chocolate chunks on it. I'll eat chocolate ice cream, but if I have a choice between vanilla ice cream and chocolate ice cream, I'm going to take vanilla every time. I just like the vanilla ice cream more than chocolate ice cream, but I like having chocolate on my vanilla ice cream, if that makes sense. But I haven't been to Cold Stone in a long time, but I love Cold Stone ice cream. It's been a long time since I've had it. Anyway, so... oh, you might be hearing some fireworks going off. Yeah, so... I love this dope, never retreat, never surrender Spartan shirt. So, got it in Greece. I was like, do as the Grecians do. Never retreat, never surrender. Yeah, so Rome. Let's see here. First day. The only thing we really did on the first day was went to Trevi Fountain, which is pretty cool. The oldest fountain in Rome. It was originally built in like 300 BC, and it's been redone many times over the thousands of years, but it's still an active fountain to this day, and a big attraction. Speaking of gelato, around Trevi Fountain, there are 4 shops within a literal stone's throw that are gelato shops. So when I say there's gelato everywhere, I freaking mean it. It's not hyperbole. They're everywhere, and they're all really good. So, yeah. Then we just had dinner. Then I just had the stops on the cruise down. So now I got to really think about the stuff we did in Rome. So, the second day in Rome. Oh, that's right. We did the Vatican. And wow, that was amazing. So we did a guided tour. And the guided tour was through the museum, and we had to burn through it. Like, you'd spend a whole day in just the museum aspect, and the museum ended in the Sistine Chapel, where Michelangelo painted the amazing ceiling. So apparently the Sistine Chapel already existed for a while. I don't know how long it existed. I have to go look it up. But he came in, whenever he came in, and painted the ceiling. So it had already existed. And when he painted it, he was only like in his 20s or something. So, the picture of like, God and Adam about to touch tips. That's on the ceiling of Sistine Chapel. Like, it's kind of difficult because you have to look straight up. And it's a very high vaulted ceiling. But this ceiling was just amazing, because it's from like wall to wall, ceiling down to about halfway. Just amazing art. The entire ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. It was amazing. I'm not even like an art aficionado, and it was it was kind of not breathtaking, but it was just amazing to see how like amazing this art was. Sounds like Italy is an amazing place if you like food. Yes, absolutely, 100% touch tips, Lamau. Yeah, exactly. So after the guided tour ended at the Sistine Chapel, there's also St. Peter's Basilica, which is like the main building that you see if you go look at the Vatican. Like the Vatican is, even though it's within Rome, it is its own sovereign country. Smallest country in the world with the smallest population, has like a population of like 800. And I don't remember what, but I remember this could have been something else related. I remember at some point we read something about whatever it was we were reading about was like 8 times larger than Rhode Island. It might have been the Vatican. I don't remember. But it's the smallest country in the world is the Vatican. But yeah, there's the St. Peter's Basilica, and they're like, this is the end of the guided tour, but if you want, you can go in there and take a look at it. And that main building, so if you're looking at the Vatican, the picture of the Vatican, got that huge courtyard with like the rounded red tiles, and then it goes straight back. The back center, that's the St. Peter's Basilica. That is literally the most impressive, amazing building I've ever been in my entire life. It was massive. You could fit millions of people inside that building. It was huge. The biggest thing I've ever been in that wasn't like a sports arena, that was made for having millions of people in it. And it was just massive vault. Like the ceilings are like 300-400 feet high. And just the decorations and the adornments on the walls and everything was just incredible. So if you ever get a chance, definitely go in. I would recommend a guided tour of the, if you could do both, I recommend that, but at least have to do a guided tour of the museum and then go into the basilica and take a look at it, and you'll just be awestruck with how amazing like the architecture is. Everything inside is just like mind-blowing. We're all like just like stunned at like how incredible the inside of this building was. So and then that night we did a bit of a change of plans because we were going to do my birthday dinner in Rome last night before we left. But I'll get to that in just a minute. But because we're like, you know what, we're probably going to be tight on time that night, so let's flip it around and let's do it on this night. So we did it, my birthday dinner, on the night of the 2nd, which was the first day we were in Rome. We just randomly walked around places. We walked through this really cool area, this little corner of town that was really cool. It was all just these tiny little walking streets with tons of little shops and restaurants and cafes. Cafes are everywhere, like the ones you see in the movies, where they're like right on this, maybe on a street either with cars or on a street where it's like just a walking street with no cars, and cafes everywhere with this really cool area with just lots of shops and stuff. And I'm like, this place is cool. So in a couple nights, I'm going to have my birthday dinner here. But it ended up being the next night because we're like, hey, what if we do it tonight since we have more time? I was like, okay, that makes sense. So we went to that place and had my birthday dinner and had an amazing meal. It was fantastic. Had a lot of fun. The ambiance was just really cool. What was it? La Canonica? La Canonica was the restaurant we had my birthday dinner in. If you're ever in Rome, I definitely recommend checking it out. Before I continue, a couple of grievances I have, not just with Rome, but with Europe in general. So I definitely don't recommend driving there. It's kind of nuts. Rules of the road, there are no rules. They're all suggestions. It's kind of nuts. People just like zipping in and out of traffic. Lanes aren't really a thing. People will drive, if they're trying to get around, because a lot of the streets are very narrow, and people just like stop in the middle of the street to get in and out of cars and stuff. People like go drive into the oncoming lane of traffic if there's no cars coming to keep going. Yellow lights are just a suggestion. Lanes are a suggestion. I saw some cars pull onto the sidewalk and drive. Cars like literally going perpendicular to squeeze through other cars to get over to other lanes. It's nuts. So I definitely don't recommend driving. And it takes a lot for me to get nervous with driving. The taxi driver we had on the second to last day, he had me nervous, and I was clenching the entire time because he was nuts. But he got us there in record time. I could have, if you asked me halfway through the drive, I would put money on it that we're gonna hit someone or cause an accident or something, because this guy was like driving like a maniac. But no accidents. But that's just like normal there. It was. I'm glad I did not have to do any driving. But there aren't traffic cops though. There are lots of police, and what was I did see another fact about it. It might have been about the Vatican. I think it was the Vatican has more police per capita than any other country, because they have their own. It's called the Swiss Guard, and they're all actually Swiss. And because the population of the Vatican is so small, per capita, they have more police than any other country in the world. Oh, hello there. Let's get rid of you. Dolphin porn. Goodbye. It sounds not much different than the U.S. No, it is way different. You think that the U.S. is bad, you go to these European countries, and rules are just suggestions. Then it sounds worse than... Oh, by far worse here. But, like, I never saw any accidents. It's like, they're all, like, crazy drivers. People, like, speeding up, running through lights, to make them, even after they turn red. Lots of foot traffic. People crossing the streets, and I swear we were going to hit someone crossing the street. Or, there's a lot of... like the rent by the minute, like scooters, like there's Lime and Hop and Dot, and also bicycles, where you just you scan the QR code with the app, and then it unlocks it, and then it charges you at the end, like an Uber ride. I did those a few times, but like that crazy taxi driver, there was someone who was ahead of us, because you're not supposed to ride them on the sidewalk, because there's lots of foot traffic, right in the bike lane, or as close to the curb as possible. So that's, see a lot of those people. I swear this dude was going to hit this woman on this little electric scooter. I don't know how we didn't hit her, but the drivers were nuts. Well, I got to go for now. Have a great evening. All right, good night, Nightmare. Glad you could hang out. We'll definitely talk probably in the next week or so. My other biggest gripe is water and just drinks in general. It was freaking like in the high 90s with high humidity. So it was hot, super hot the entire time. And it's like cold liquid is like a foreign concept to them. Everywhere you go, the liquid you get is like room temperature. Even their refrigerators aren't refrigerated. So you open the thing to pull out like a bottle of water, and it's not cold. And they give you... Like you go to a restaurant, you don't just get like a glass of ice water. You have to get like a big bottle, like a 2 or 3 liter bottle of water that you share with everyone at the table. Those might be cold, but no ice. It's like ice doesn't exist in Europe. You have to. All the glasses they give you are super tiny, and if you want ice, you have. It's like pulling teeth. You have to. They will not bring you ice, and only some of the drinks they bring you are actually cold, unless they're actually like blended up ice drinks. That was driving me nuts. The one thing though is all the faucet water was like cold, even though when it's like almost 100 degrees, you turn on a faucet anywhere and the water is cold. Here at home, when I turn the cold water on my faucet, it's hot water, and I have to wait for it to cool down to like lukewarm temperature in the summer. It was super hot, and the water from the faucet was cold like every time. I don't know how, but that was a nice difference. But when it came to like drinking water, you have to like buy bottles. You can't just like get glasses of water, and they don't come with ice. It's like, so fortunately on the ship they had plenty of water and ice. But once we were in Rome for the last few days, it was a pain just getting water and ice literally anywhere, and that was pissing me off. So be aware. If you go to Europe, or at least Italy, be prepared for not having any cold liquids or any ice. And that's how, my water bottle, like here, I filled it up with ice as soon as I got home, so I can actually have cold water in here, because just putting cold water in here, it's not going to stay cold long. You have to put ice in it, and then the cold water stays cold for a long time, even in the heat. I had no ice literally anywhere, so my water for like the last 4 days, even though it's in a nice, cold water thing was not cold at all. That was driving me nuts. Hey, what's up, Rozik? AC also does. Yes, very few places had AC. There was like almost no AC anywhere, and even the places that did have AC, it was like barely AC. Like my hotel room said it had AC, and it said like 16 degrees Celsius, which I think is like 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The coldest it got was like 78. It was still quite warm. There's like no AC, even though it's super hot. So yeah, he went to Europe not that long ago as well, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about. No no AC, no ice, and insane drivers. Yep, it sounds exactly like my experience back in 2019. That's right. We talked about this over text, but I thought your Europe trip was just a couple of years ago. It was already 6 years ago. But yeah, I had the exact same experience. It was an awesome experience, but those were my gripes. Oh, cold water. Oh, I was telling my family just yesterday, not that I didn't already appreciate it, but I have a much greater appreciation now for ice, cold water, and AC because of this trip. So yeah, not even Italian ice. So the only thing was really some like alcoholic drinks would come with ice by default, but like your glasses of water, they'd bring you like chilled water, but no ice. You had to ask for it. And when they did bring you ice, it was like 3 cubes. It's like, can I get enough ice to fill up a water bottle, please? Why is that so difficult? Why is this such a foreign concept? It was really pissing me off. Oh, this cold water is so good. Oh, you know what? When I pulled up my phone here, I saw it looked like it disappeared, but I swear I think I might have gotten a Steam gift. I have Steam open, so I don't know why I didn't get a Steam notification. But let me pull. I did receive a gift from Insidious Bliss about an hour ago. So sorry, Bliss, I didn't notice it until I pulled up my phone here a few minutes ago to pull up that picture. But I want to kind of finish up here with the trip because I'm winding down here, and then I'll go to your gift. So if you're still there, Bliss, I appreciate it, even though I have no idea what it is yet, but we'll open that in a minute. So thank you. But yeah, so let's see here. So we did just kind of walked around Rome, saw some stuff that day, and then finished with my birthday dinner. The next day, which would have been the day before yesterday, we took the high-speed train from Rome to Florence. It was about an hour and a half, and the fastest train I've ever been on. Had a kind of like when you're on plane rides, you can see like the information of like how fast you're traveling and stuff. This train was going like 160 miles an hour, and it was like smooth as butter. It was a really cool train. So it reminded me of the train from at the end of the first Mission Impossible, where the helicopter gets latched on in the tunnel. It was just like that train. So that gives you a perfect mental image of what this train was like. So we took that to Florence, walked around Florence for the day. We didn't do any tours or anything, but we went and looked at a lot of this architecture and the old buildings and stuff there. And that's where we had the lunch I was talking about a few minutes ago, where I had the best pizza on the trip, was that lunch place we had in Florence. I don't even remember what it was called. We had to wait forever to get a table, but the pizza we had there was fantastic. So Rod says, Italy, Spain, and Monaco was back in 2019. Germany, Switzerland, and Belgium was just last summer. That's probably what I was thinking of. I have not, let's see here. I've done Italy now. Never been to Spain, never been to Monaco. Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning, I had an 8-hour layover in Frankfurt, Germany, back in, was that high school? No, that was college. So I had landed and walked around in Germany, but not much, and I've never been to Belgium. On both trips, AC was a rare luxury. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's hot over there too. One of the things is that Rome, like I'm in Sacramento, California. If you look at the longitude, latitude, they're almost identical. Like north of the equator, the difference is like 2 degrees. Not temperature-wise, but 2 degrees, like longitude or latitude, whatever the vertical one is. I forget which one is higher or lower. I'd have to look it up, but they're almost identical on like where they fall. Like, you got your like the lines around the globe, like the Tropic of Cancer and like the equator and stuff. They're like identical distance from the equator, but it was kind of like the East Coast. It was quite humid, so even though the temperature and weather was very similar, the humidity makes it way worse. And we were out walking around, and one of the things we were often talking about was, especially being on a ship with like food, essentially whenever you want, is eating lots of food. It's like we're all talking like, oh, we've gained so much weight, but because we were so active and walking around so much, getting so many steps in, and it was super hot, we're sweating like crazy the whole time. I was like, I think it balances out. So I got home. When I got home tonight, I went and stepped on the scale. I was only 1 pound more than I was when I left. The average person's weight can fluctuate by 2 pounds in a single day. So it was basically a wash. So I ate a lot more, but I was way more active. I got more steps and activity on this vacation than I've gotten like the last like couple months combined, because we were just walking so much. It sounds like it's raining, but it's just a bunch of fireworks going off. So, so Florence had an amazing lunch there. Saw some cool buildings. Learned some stuff about some of those buildings. That was one of the things. So, speaking of the Vatican, that St. Peter Basilica, it took 120 years to build that building. They started in like, what was it? I want to say it was 1506, and they completed it in 1506, and they completed it in like 1631 or something like that. So it was like 120 years to build this amazing building. And then there was also a basilica in Florence that we didn't go into because the line was like super long, but we looked at it and took some pictures in front of it. Amazing building, architecture and stuff was crazy. But I looked it up online to get some information about it, and that one took 140 years to build, and that one was done before the Vatican was even started. That one was built from like 1290 to like 1460 or something like that. It was like crazy how long some of these incredible buildings were under construction before they were completed. So, then we took the train back to Rome, and then our last day was in Rome was yesterday. We took the hop on, hop off bus. You get a ticket and kind of get on and off whenever you want. I was getting fed up because like these stops, you would think, you stop at each stop for, a couple minutes so some people can get off and some people can get on. We were stopped at once. It was only like 8 stops, but it went all around the city of Rome. Well, this one stop took literally like 30 minutes. I'm like, what the F is taking so long? We could have walked like the next 3 stops by the time it took for this one stop to take place. The plan was we were going to take the bus because you got headphones as well, and as you went around to each stop, you plug in the headphones and you get a guided audio tour of each of these stops. So the plan was to go ride it around once and then go get the stops. So I was like, at this rate, we're not going to have enough time to get through all of them. So I was like, I'm getting off at the next stop. You guys are welcome to stay on the bus if you want, but I'm getting off. So they all ended up following me, and we ended up at the Spanish Steps, and then we had lunch there. This is a nice little restaurant, which had another one that had amazing food. That's the one I mentioned earlier where my mom got this pasta. Gnocchi. Gnocchi is what it's called. It's like, or it might be, no, it's Gnocchi is how it's pronounced. The G is silent, but it's Gnoochi. And I only got one bite of it, and then it was like gone. But it was some of the best pasta I've ever had in my life. It was amazing. But we had lunch, got some more gelato, and then walked around some more. Went back to Trevi Fountain because one of our group didn't get to see it the other day. Because that night we had a guided, nearly private night tour of the Colosseum. So because we've been walking around a bunch that day, some of our group most of our group went to like a little cafe and sat down and got some drinks and stuff. But me and my uncle were like, we haven't. There's like this long street with like tons of like super old buildings. So I'm like, we're running out of time here before we got to go home, and I haven't even seen a lot of this stuff here. So me and my uncle went and walked down the street one side, looking, reading all the plaques, taking some pictures and stuff, and then walked back up the other side. Got to get a good look at all these ancient buildings, and then it was time for our night tour, and we had essentially a private night tour of the Roman Colosseum. It was amazing. There was like 20 people in the group, so it was essentially a private tour, and it was incredible. We got to go down below the Colosseum, learn all about it, go through these tunnels and stuff. Or back then, all the slaves were like working the lifts and stuff, and learned all about the Colosseum. So one of the things is, we were in Rome. So one of the movies I watched on the plane flight on the way back, obviously Gladiator, because that movie is amazing. There are a lot of inconsistencies with that movie that I've learned now from being in Rome and being in the Colosseum. There weren't. The Colosseum was not like it is portrayed in the movies, where there's lots of like slaves getting killed and like gladiators. It was more like the WWE, where a lot of the stuff was like scripted, because these gladiators went through a lot of training. They were expensive, and if they like died in combat, it did happen, but it wasn't like every single battle, because the people who like owned them or whatever, they would be owed a lot of money. So they would get like cuts and stuff, and they get stitched up and stuff, maybe like lose an eye or fingers and stuff. But it was very rarely to the death. The animals thing is true, though. The water ship thing is not true. Alright. Let me turn my mic down. How's that? No, that's still peaking in red. I usually like to have it at max. I want to make sure you guys are hearing me good. So that should be a little bit better. I turned it down a little bit. So thanks, Paul. As my audio guru. But yeah, the filling the Colosseum with water and doing the ships thing, that is 100% false. That never happened. They may have like simulated water battles, but they didn't actually flood it with flood the Colosseum with water, because there's a lot of stuff underneath the Colosseum that would have all flooded too. So that is false. I have not seen Gladiator 2 yet. I've heard it's not really great, so I'm not really inclined to watch it. But I know that happened in Gladiator 2. That did not happen in real life. People did die in the Colosseum, but the most deaths were from public executions, not from actual gladiators killing each other, because they were worth a lot of money. So they didn't want the gladiators to die. So it was more like the WWE, where a lot of stuff was like scripted and entertainment, but there were still injuries, but not a lot of gladiator deaths. So, did you go into the Duomo? I've heard that word. I don't know what that means, though. We saw the outside when we went to Florence, and I recognized it immediately because Assassin's Creed. Oh, yes! That's one of the things I was thinking about. A lot of these places I went are things that I've seen in some of the Assassin's Creed games, like the Colosseum. So you get to go to the Colosseum in Assassin's Creed 2. We were in... I didn't go to Istanbul, but some of my family did, because that was one of the stops in the first 10-day cruise that they did, so I met them after that. But they probably saw some of the stuff that you see in Assassin's Creed Revelations, since that takes place in Istanbul, or technically Constantinople, since it wasn't Istanbul yet. But it was cool. A lot of the places that I've seen on this trip are places that I've been in Assassin's Creed games. And now that I'm back, I'm like, I want to go boot up like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, since I haven't played it yet. I want to go find some of these places, because I'm pretty sure they were in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and be like, I recognize this because I was there. So, I immediately recognized because it's Assassin's Creed 2, but we were pressed for time, so we never did manage to go inside. I think I saw it, but I don't think I went inside it. But I definitely saw lots of things that I recognized from Assassin's Creed. Because I was thinking of some of these, I'm like, in Assassin's Creed, I've taken a leap of faith from there. But, when you're actually looking up at some of these buildings, like that's like 300-400 feet up. It's like a little bale of hay is not going to save you. Not that anyone ever believed that that was real, but nonetheless. Yeah, so our last night, we got a tour of the Coliseum with like 20 people. A private guided tour, essentially, at night. It was all lit up. It was amazing. Probably the best tour I've ever taken in my life. It was awesome and a great way to end the trip. And then, because it didn't even start until like 8:30 or 9. It was like an hour-ish. So we got out 9:30 or 10. And we were all surprised by it because a lot of the like Europeans, like they do things late. So we were surprised that some of these places were all like closed already. But my uncle's like, I want to get some gelato. It's, we're about to leave. So I was like, yeah, let's go find some gelato. So we found, I'm like, it looks like there might be some gelato over there. A lot of noise over there. So there's some music. There's got to be some stuff going on over there. So we went over there. There were 2 cafes. One did not have any gelato. Well, it looked like they were gelato shops. I went and looked at both of them. Like, I don't see any gelato. So I went back. I'm like, I don't see any. But I didn't go inside. It's like, why don't you go inside and check? So I went and checked the first one, no gelato. I went to the second one, went inside. They did have a gelato bar. So I'm like, all right, came back. I'm like, all right, the second one does have a gelato bar. So we went in, and it was this really cool club. I saved, I don't remember if I saved the napkin, but I did save a picture of it, called Cafe Opio? Opii? It's like OPPIO or something like that. It was like literally walking distance eye shot of the Coliseum. If you're ever in Rome and you go to the Coliseum, I definitely recommend going to this Cafe Opio. Really awesome little cafe. They were open late. They were all able to get gelato. I hadn't eaten anything since lunch, so I got some food. I got a burger, a bacon burger, which is I think it was the only American food I actually ate the whole trip. And that was really good. And then I got gelato after I was done with my burger. Really cool vibe of this cafe. They had great music. They had like a lot of 80s music playing. Just a really, really cool spot. So if you go there, I definitely recommend checking out Cafe Opio right there on the corner. Like, you can see it from the Coliseum. And then we had to be up. Our flight was at 9. The rest of my family, they got up at like 5 o'clock or 4:30 or something in order to get ready to leave, to get to the to leave at 5:30 to get to the airport by 6. Me and my buddy that I was with were like, you don't need to be there that early ahead of time. So we got up at like 6 to leave at 6:30 because it was about a half hour to the airport. So we got to the airport at 7, and we had no problems. We still had plenty of time. So got on the plane. Oh, last thing. Yesterday before the Coliseum, I was looking at some more souvenir shops. You may have noticed a new addition to my background right there. I got, it's not the same color, but it's essentially the helmet that Maximus, Russell Crowe's character, wears in Gladiator, but I like the color scheme better, but it's basically the exact same helmet. So they had ones like big ones that you could wear, but I really wanted to get one. But I was like, first of all, I don't have enough room in my background for a full-size helmet you could actually wear, and there's no way I could fit it in my suitcase. My suitcase was packed, but it's like, this I should be able to fit. So I got this awesome little Roman helmet and I was like, that's going in my background. So that goes right there. So I got my little Roman helmet from background, and then I was at the airport. Where did I put it? Oh, it's right there. And because my aunt gave me some euros before I left, so she's like, here's some fun spending money for when you're in Europe. And so she texted me yesterday. She's like, you better have spent all those euros. I didn't spend anywhere near all the euros that I had, but I was like, well, I've got some money, and it's my birthday. So at the airport, they had a really good selection of some Legos. I really wanted to get some of the Legos, but again, I wouldn't have been able to like fit them in my luggage or anything. But I found, not that that was a loud one. So I have lots of 3x3 Rubik's Cubes, but I'm not a speed cuber, but I don't have any speed cubes, and I found this one, and it's the smoothest cube I've ever played with. So I was like, I've got some money, and so I got another 3x3, and this thing is just so smooth and quick. I'm not a speed cuber, but I just like knowing how to solve them. But it's just the smoothest one I've ever had. So I got another one at 3x3 Rubik's Cube at the airport with some of my money before we got on the plane to come home. And then we left our flight was at like 9:20 this morning in Rome. And then we landed in San Francisco at like 1:30 or 1:45. So it's like, oh, it was only a 4-hour flight. But we came back 9 time zones, so it was actually a 13-hour flight. And because of that, this will be my longest birthday ever, because I started in Rome and ended in, Pacific time zone. So the 24 hours that a normal day would be, plus the 9 extra time zones that I started in. So it'd be like a 33-hour birthday. So, spent most of the day on the airplane, but coming back from literally the most amazing trip ever, I don't mind at all. So, because of that, I'm not going out to see any fireworks tonight, although I can hear them. I might go out in my backyard and see if I can see any. I'm sure I'll be hearing them until I go to bed. But I was like, I actually haven't gone to see actual like big in the sky fireworks in a few years, just because of the way things have turned out. So I do hope that I'll get to see them next year, unless I'm doing something awesome next year on my birthday. But yeah, so that about sums up the most awesome vacation ever. But yeah. All right, so Bliss, I don't know if you're still here, because I'm pretty sure you're Central or Eastern time, but I saw Bliss gifted me something. Let's go check out what it is. He gifts me a game on Steam, so let's see. No freaking way. Dude, you rock. Thank you so much, Bliss. Some of the games you've got me, I still haven't even started yet. So now that I've gotten through, I've dived all the game I've been focusing on getting my completion percentage up on Xbox. Now that I'm through that, now I'm like, I can play like whatever. He gifted me Stellar Blade on Steam. Thank you so much, dude. That's one of those, because like some of those top tier like PlayStation games are all like the games that I really want to get on Steam. And even better, because the rumors are getting stronger and stronger that Steam's getting added to Xbox, I'll be able to play my PlayStation games that I bought on Steam on my Xbox very soon. But thank you so much, man. You rock. You got me a series. You also gifted me Ghost of Tsushima, and I need to get back to that one as well. And what else? I think you also gifted me... I have played a good chunk of Ghost of Tsushima, but I need to get back to it. I think my birthday last year, was it? You gifted me the One Step from Eden. I still haven't even launched that game, so I've got so many Steam games I need to get into now. But thank you so much. You rock, Bliss. I don't know when I'm ever going to get around to another roulette stream, but that is 2 spins on the roulette wheel. So thank you, Bliss. You rock, dude. Despite all the crap you always give you, but it's always in good fun and in jest. It's called trolling. We do a little trolling. Let's see here. Gaming roulette. There it is. Nope, I already did that one. I need to update my notes here. My last one was on April 9th. So I don't know when my next one's going to be, because that's actually the first tip or gift I've gotten in a while. But next roulette. Let's see here. Bliss. ×2. Gifted. Stellar Blade. Awesome, Bliss. That is awesome gift. So I appreciate that. I am absolutely going to accept that, because that is on my wish list. So let me go look at my wish list, because there's that one just came out. I do want to play both Spider-Man, the more recent ones. Even though I've heard 2 isn't that great, I do want to play them both at some point. I've got God of War 2018. I haven't played it yet, but I also want to get Ragnarok. I've got Horizon Zero Dawn. Haven't played it yet either, but I want to do that and for Forbidden West. Carl suggested Days Gone to me, so I put that on my wish list. So I'll pick that up eventually. Almost all these games are on a pretty heavy discount right now for the summer sale as well, but I don't think Stellar Blade is. Disappeared from my wish list now that I own it. and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So all those like PlayStation exclusives I've got on my Steam wish list since they basically have all come to Steam. So shout out to Insidious Bliss. He hasn't said anything, so I think he's probably gone for the night. But thank you, dude. You rock. So maybe I'll have to stream that at some point. Let me go add that. Let me go add Stellar Blade to my PlayStation exclusive games list. I've got for my Steam games, which is now Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, Helldivers, Journey. Although I requested a refund for this one just tonight when I got back, so we'll see if it happens. But because I bought Kena Bridge of Spirits on Steam because it was a PlayStation exclusive and it looked pretty interesting, and then without ever having even played it, it got brought to Xbox not long after. So someone, I think it was Flame Age. No, it wasn't. It was in one of my other Discords. Someone's like, if you haven't played it, you can request a refund. Because I did that with Kena Bridge of Spirits. Because I bought it, and I haven't even played it. And now that it's on Xbox, I want to play it on Xbox, since that's my primary platform. So if I can refund it on Steam and then buy it on Xbox, that's what I'm going to do. And then the other one was, well, I couldn't do it with Helldivers because I've already put, 20 or 30 hours into it. But Helldivers just got announced coming to Xbox, so I'm absolutely going to be picking that up on Xbox. Finally, Black Myth Wukong is getting released on Xbox. I'm buying that day one next month in August. What was the other game? There was another PlayStation exclusive. I've had Black Myth on my Steam wish list, but I've always been anticipating coming to Xbox. So now that it's coming to Xbox, I'm gonna get it on Xbox, and I removed it from my Steam wish list. There was 2 games tonight that I requested refunds for because... Oh, that's the other one. 9 Years of Shadows is a Metroidvania. I ended up with it for free on GOG because of Prime Gaming. But the GOG version does not have any achievements. So I ended up I was like, I'm going to buy it so I can play it on Steam, because Steam version does have achievements. It's not on Xbox, so I was like, I'll pick it up on Steam. So I picked it up on sale. And I haven't even played that one yet either. And then just like yesterday, it got announced that 9 Years of Shadows is coming to Xbox. So I requested a refund for that one because I want to play it on Xbox rather than Steam. So we'll see if that happens. I'll probably buy them on Xbox regardless, but hopefully I'll be able to get a refund for those so I can put that money towards the Steam versions. But yeah, so alright, Stellar Blade is now added to my PlayStation games folder in Steam. And got achievements. And all games. So, and then yeah, I don't know if it was Bliss or whether it was DJ, but someone gifted me. I think it was Bliss. Also gifted me Neo, not NEO, but like the Team Ninja, Souls-like games, NIOH 1 and 2, and I have not even played either of those yet. And DJ Axis wants to get me on for Neo 2 with Neo 2. I thought that was really clever use of a like. Not a double entendre, but a clever use of words. I've never played either one of them, but at some point, DJ and I, and probably the company boys, will probably do some Neo. Even though I think they've already done them, I've never played them, so. But I have a feeling they'll be okay with playing them again. But oh yeah, speaking of Helldivers, it's awesome that not only is it coming to Xbox, it has crossplay, so you'll play with the Steam people and the PlayStation people. The main thing I haven't heard yet, I'm assuming it is, because it is, whether you're, or at least I believe it is, if you're playing on Steam or on PlayStation, your progress is cross progress as well, so you can hop from one to the other and still have the same progress. Since I've already played on Steam, I'm assuming once I buy it on Xbox, once it comes out and I launch it, I'll still have my progress. I'm hoping so, but I don't know for certain. So hopefully it has the cross progress in addition to the cross play, so I don't have to start from scratch again. But that way, me and my Xbox buddies can play Helldivers together, because my buddy Rozik, he doesn't do the Steam side of things, so now that it's coming to Xbox, we'll be able to play together because we love playing co-op stuff together. Oh, you know what? I've got it right up here. Yeah, Bliss. gifted me Ghost of Tsushima last year. Let's see here. Oh, okay. It was Imp Black Belt that gifted me One Step from Eden. Oh, and that was in October. Yeah, in October. But it was Bliss that did gift me the Neo games. So, I almost had it. So, hey, what's up, Lowest Expectation? Happy Sun Orbit. Thank you. Appreciate it. So, yeah, I was just recapping my amazing vacation. I am back, so I'll be back in streams and stuff and live chats. I won't be live on my own channel again for a couple more weeks because I've got stuff going on IRL. But I can be in live chats and stuff on my phone and on my iPad. I just can't be live myself. So, but I had a couple hours tonight. So I was like, I'll go ahead and go live and talk about my trip and kind of do a little bit of a birthday stream. But I'm pretty tired since it. Let's see here. Let's look at the time zones. It is now currently 6:48 in the morning in Rome, where I was this morning. So I've essentially been up for the 24 hours straight. I didn't sleep on the plane like at all. Maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes. Oh, but yeah, speaking of the plane ride home. So I watched Gladiator because I was just in Rome. I just had toured the Colosseum. I got to watch Gladiator because it's such a great movie and I haven't seen it in a while. So I watched Gladiator. And then given that it was also my birthday, July 4th, the other movie I watched on the plane is I watched The Patriot. It's been a long time since I've seen that, and that is such a good movie. So, whenever I talk about like some of the best villains, Jason Isaacs plays one of the best bad guys ever in The Patriot. I don't know if there's ever been a movie where I myself have wanted to get revenge on a bad guy as much as I want to kill Jason Isaacs' character in The Patriot. He plays such a good bad guy in that movie. So, if you haven't seen The Patriot, I highly recommend it. Fantastic movie. And I've been mentioning this a few times on a couple streams, and I told a bunch of people on my trip as well. Because I was blown away when I found out, like, within the last year or two, that The Patriot was directed by Roland Emmerich, who is known for a lot of schlocky, cheesy, like, sci-fi movies. Like, the other one I had planned, but I didn't end up watching it, is obviously Independence Day. That was Roland Emmerich. The original Stargate. Godzilla 98, Day After Tomorrow 2012. I think his latest one was Moonfall. So these cheesy sci-fi movies, I enjoy them. They're a lot of fun, but they're not good movies. But then at the early on in his career, because this was Patriot, I think came out in 2000. Before that, really the only thing he was known for was the original Stargate, which is also a great sci-fi movie and spawned my favorite TV shows, plural, of all time, SG-1 and Atlantis. Stargate, SG-1 and Atlantis. But he makes these cheesy movies, and his whole, not discography, that's for a band, filmography of movies are these like cheesy movies, except for The Patriot. Patriot is like this amazing top-tier, high-quality movie. That is a great movie, not just like a fun movie that's dumb. It's a great movie. And all the rest of his movies are like really cheesy, but that one is great. So it's just kind of, I was blown away by it a couple years ago when I learned that The Patriot was directed by Roland Emmerich. So I told a bunch of people on my trip about that as well, because they're not, into these sorts of things. They have no idea who Roland Emmerich is. Yeah, watch The Patriot on the way back, because I haven't watched that in a long time. That's a great movie. If I had watched another movie, the third one would have been Independence Day. It's been a while since I've seen that one. Yeah, the 13-hour flight back, direct. It was a direct from Rome to San Francisco. It did not feel like a 13-hour flight. It felt a lot quicker. So, watched a couple movies. I worked on trying to solve my 9x9. I did make a lot of progress. Still not there, though. I need to look up a lot of guides to figure out how to solve some of these parody situations I've gotten into, because I don't know how to do it myself. Played some, basically ran the battery down on my Switch, playing some Switch games and a little bit of my Retroid Pocket, my emulated games. So it flew by, and yeah, I'm back home now. It was weird because you're driving from San Francisco back home to Sacramento on a Friday on a holiday weekend, the holiday being today, I figured the traffic was going to be nuts. People like leaving the Bay Area, maybe going up to Tahoe. There was literally zero traffic. We flew home. It was amazing. So got home in like great time. I'm not fully unpacked, but I unpacked a lot of my stuff. I've been gone for like 2.5 weeks, so there's stuff around the house that needed attending. So I did all that. And then I was like, I've got a little bit of time. I'm gonna go ahead and go live and talk about my trip and kind of recap it. So, since I haven't really done any birthday thing related, if any of you guys wanted to hop on like a Discord call and just chat for a little bit, we could do that. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna eat and go to bed because I'm a bit tired. Been up for 24 hours straight, and I only got like 4 hours of sleep last night because we were out late because of the Rome Coliseum tour and stuff. But if anybody wants to hop on and talk 4th of July, or maybe a trip they went on, or video games for maybe like another hour or something, we can definitely do that. So you guys either DM me or put it in chat if you want to come on and chat live with me. Because last year on my birthday, I did like an actual like full birthday stream. We had like a nice panel, like a bunch of people on all at the same time. That was a lot of fun. If I had more time today, I wanted to do the same thing, but that just wasn't feasible. But so if anyone wants to hop on and chat with me, I'm more than happy to do that for a little bit. But if not, we can go ahead and call it a night. So while we give anybody a chance to potentially respond to that, did any of you guys go out and see any fireworks tonight? You do anything fun today for the 4th of July? Anybody lose any fingers to fireworks? Any fun stories from tonight? Let me know. I'd be curious to hear from you guys what you guys did. I'm assuming none of you guys probably spent it on all day on a plane. But let's see here. Yeah, but yeah, more on video games. There's a lot of stuff coming up that I'm super excited for. The closest thing on the agenda, Tony Hawk 3+4 comes out in like less than a week. I'm playing that day one. Can't wait for that. What's some of the other stuff that is coming out in July? I know that there's a lot of big stuff. If I go here to, oh shit, let's go ordered. Yeah, like I said earlier, Black Myth Wukong is coming out in August. I'm buying that and playing that day one with my birthday money. Helldivers, I'm going to buy that day one on Xbox. There's a lot of games that are coming out that I want to get on day one on Xbox. And like you guys know me, I'm like super frugal and patient, so I like wait till things are super on sale. But I'm going to get some of these games day one. Helldivers 2, Black Myth Wukong. Me and Rozik ended up, the plan was because Space Marine 1, the War Remastered collection, or not collection, but edition, just came to Game Pass, so I'm gonna play that. And then Space Marine 2 is on a pretty decent sale right now. It's like 45% off. So if anyone wants to buy Space Marine 2 on Xbox right now, it's like 45% off for like $38. So because Rozik and I game share, sometimes on these sort of things when they're not Game Pass games, we'll split the cost. And so we ended up getting Space Marine 2 today, so I'm looking forward to playing. I got to play the first one first, but I'm going to try to burn through that one so we can get to playing 2, because the first one has co-op, but only in a horde mode. It doesn't have campaign co-op, whereas the second one, I believe, has full campaign co-op. You can play the whole game in co-op, so we're going to do that. Crazy Lando says, I like the old Tony Hawk games. I love them as well. Tony Hawk 3 was my favorite, but Tony Hawk 1+2 Remaster, or remake, whatever you want to call it, is definitely the best Tony Hawk game. So if I could only pick one, that would be it. But if you call that cheating because it's a remake, if I could only pick one dedicated Tony Hawk game, it's Tony Hawk 3. That one's my favorite. So I am very much looking forward for this 3+4 remake. I'm playing that day one. Yeah, saving some of my birthday money so I can buy some of these games that, when they come out, like Helldivers and Black Myth. I feel like there's one that I'm missing. Shadow Labyrinth. That's coming to Game Pass, though, but I'm going to play that probably day one. Oh, July 18th. That comes out in, like, just over a week. because that's also a Metroidvania. I feel like there's another one that I've been hearing a lot of talk about the last like couple days, and I'm just blanking on it because I'm pretty wiped out. But yeah, there's some good looking stuff on the horizon. I've got. I'm excited for some of the games that we've got coming up here very soon. So, but yeah, some of the stuff that's like the immediate. The number one game on the agenda right now to get through is Magical Delicacy, which is a culinary-based 2D platforming Metroidvania. And the reason why is because I'm going to be panic playing it. Got announced that it's leaving Game Pass, so I'm going to get that knocked out before it leaves Game Pass. And then, like I just mentioned, I want to get through Space Marine 1 so that Rozak and I can do Space Marine 2 co-op. It just got announced that the Anthem servers are shutting down in January, and Carl's like, hey, anyone want to do this with me? I was like, let's do it. So I installed Anthem. So Carl and I are probably going to... We haven't talked about it at all, other than like, hey, let's do it. So we may make a regular stream night once a week or something and get through it. We'll see. But we'll probably play through that entirely in co-op together on stream would be my guess. So that's kind of high priority before the servers get shut down. I added a bunch of games to my number one group of games on my Xbox are like my now, I call it now playing, sort of the ones that have the most priority. And I added a couple more to those tonight, and because there's these games that I want to play that are either like leaving Game Pass, or I need to get through them quickly so I can get to like the sequel or something. But I'm pretty wiped out, so I can't think of what they were. But gaming is looking good, so we got a lot of good stuff coming out here soon. So, but yeah, I think with that, just over 2 hours, I think we're going to call it there tonight. I'm going to go eat and go to bed because I am exhausted. But thanks for hanging out with me, you guys, for a couple hours while I regaled you with the stories of my amazing vacation trip. So, the next planned thing here on my channel is... The plan right now is a Metroidvania Monday and a Mass Effect Monday on July 21st. I don't know if I'll be able to get into my regularly scheduled programming going forward, but I should be able to do some streams that week. I don't know if I'll be able to do any the week after that or the week after that, but somewhere around the beginning to mid-August, I should be able to get back to my regularly scheduled streams. But we should have a couple of streams the week of the 20th in July, and we should have party chat on the 22nd. So, but you'll see me around in live chats and stuff. You just won't see me live again. So, thanks for hanging out with me tonight for a couple hours while I talk about my trip. And thanks for all the birthday wishes. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. I had an awesome, amazing trip of a lifetime, and a great birthday. And shout out again to Insidious Bliss for gifting Stellar Blade. I look forward to playing that at some point. I just got so many games now that I'm looking forward to playing that I don't know. Not even before I did my dive, I had too many games, not enough time, and now that's just like tenfold. I got too many games and not enough time. Especially when Nightmare and I are looking at doing some real life stuff, maybe going into business together. So. Things are looking up. We've got a lot of hopes for the future. So, hope you all had a great 4th of July. And thank you again for the birthday wishes. You guys are all awesome. You rock. And it's funny. I say that because Paul's music is playing right now. And his thumbnail for this one is Games That Rock. So, Crazy Land. Oh, you already said it. Paul's still here saying happy birthday again, bud. And Flame Age says have a good night, dude. So, thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. And, I'll see you guys in Discord and Twitter and live chats and stuff. But you guys all have a good night. We will see you later. And as always, in the meantime, game on.